due east of Conwy to Chesterfield, where Drew's heard of a fledgling business with a name that promises both weirdness and wonders.
So today we are off to Chesterfield and we are meeting Susie and Wayne, who run the Lucky Magpie vintage showrooms. I don't think they've had the shop very long, but apparently it's working a treat. And I think they've got some barns and stuff for us to have a look at as well.
Excellent. Great area, isn't it?
Yeah, super.
So what do you
Beautiful.
think of Chesterfield Spire, then?
It always surprises me, Chesterfield Spire. I look at it and I'm like, how? Why?
Yeah.
How?
How isn't it fallen over yet?
The famous twist in the town's 14th century church spire is thought to be the effects of unseasoned timber or heavy lead sheeting used in its construction. A prosperous town since Roman times, at the height of the Industrial Revolution, locally engineered machinery travelled from Chesterfield to all corners of the British Empire, thanks in part to one resident, George Stephenson, father of the railways. Today, by another twist of the tale, a rich mix of extraordinary objects from far-flung places have found their way to the town and been gathered under one roof by dealer duo Susie Kujawinski and Wayne Kutz.
So the name The Lucky Magpie Salvage came from my time of volunteering at an animal sanctuary. It's an eclectic mix of finds. For me personally, having something that feels a bit like a Willy Wonka antique centre where you can come in and you just get immersed in all the different rooms.
The colour, the quirkiness, the things that you can probably remember from your childhood and what brought you good memories.
I'm really looking forward to Drew and T coming. From what I know of Drew, he's going to pick out something completely different to what people are expecting, and that's what I'm super excited about, without a doubt.
Thank you.
There you go. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
Hi,
Hey.
Susie. Nice to
Hello.
meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
How are
Drew.
you?
Drew.
T.
And T.
Wayne.
Hi. Okay.
A lot to see.
Definitely. Welcome to the Lucky Magpie Salvage.
Wow. Whoa. It's different. Like it. Wow. It's a bright, colourful place, rammed full of stuff. A lot of signage, there's fairground, showman art, there's display cases, all sorts. Make it fun, make it affordable, and you'll do well. And that's exactly what I think they're doing here. So, I mean, how long have you guys been here? I'm always interested to know how long somebody's sort of kept at it and been doing it and, you know, at the shop and all that. Because people don't realise it's such a lot of work.
It is.
Huge work.
It is really hard work, but been open 8 months here.
Yeah.
Prior to that, we were doing fairs.
We get 3 or 4 days, at least every month, where we just set off in the van. Don't book no hotels. We don't book any hotels, do we? We just see
where we
we'll
end
set
up.
off and see where we end up, and then we'll get leads during the day, and then we come back with a van full of stuff.
I like it. You've got lots of things that I like the look of. Easy Push, loved them. They were all over at Llandudno when we were kids. There's stuff everywhere. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
Front of an house, it was out an house clearance. Yeah.
It's
Can you pull it
heavy.
out for us, Wayne?
It's heavy. Do you know what? I don't think it's that old, but it's kind of cool. I think
It's
if
sort
it
of got a look to it, hasn't it? How much
Yeah.
is it? Weird thing. It's like a dopey stag.
Best that I could do on it would be 120.
Right, OK. Sometimes I wonder about myself. I was wandering around the shop and there's this shield with a big sort of comical-looking stag's head on it. And instantly I thought, oh, I like that. And I shouldn't really like it because it's not very good, really, but it's got something about it. And it's clearly something somebody's made themselves. They've made up a mould and made it themselves because they wanted to have an armorial, you know, shield on the front of their house. £100 buy it? You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sold.
Sold. Brilliant.
What the hell am I going to do with that? It was £120, got it for 100. I think we can strip a top layer of paint off it and end up with something sort of a bit more distressed paint underneath there. And I think it'll be really interesting. It's just an oddball thing. It's just oddball. And that's enough. It just goes on and on. It does just go on and on. Right then, in your workshop.
Yeah,
They're really interesting.
Beautiful Sheffield.
Oh, what does that say? Some Armitage and Sons,
Yeah.
Manchester and Sheffield.
Sheffield, yeah, so they've got some local history. The lady I bought them off, her husband found them at the tip about 40 years ago. He worked at a tip in Buxton.
They're painted terracotta,
Yeah.
cast terracotta, and then you put them all sorts, front of buildings, shops, underneath bits of, you know, on the front of a desk. I mean, they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So either
Anywhere,
side of
yeah.
a door. They
Yeah.
could do anything with them, really.
Yeah.
I would like to buy 2. Well, on the seat, there's 4 or 5 terracotta corbels with paint on them. And these are great. These are fascinating. So these are actually 19th century. And they've got the maker's mark, clear as day, in 2 places on them. And they're numbered as well, 21, which would have been the design number from the catalogue that you'd have picked them from. They're one of those tiny little details, an architectural details that you are not going to see very often. That's fascinating.
Before the mid-19th century, bricks were made by hand. But by the time these corbels were made by John Armitage and Son, a successful Manchester brick and tile factory which began manufacturing in the 1850s, production had been mechanised. Much cheaper than carving from wood or stone, architectural decorative fixtures like this could now be mass-produced and picked out from a catalogue. In an unusual state of preservation with traces of original paint, this pair could be worth around £250.
140 for the pair.
Yes. At a top price of 150, so you're on the nail. You're
Yeah.
bang on
Yeah,
with that, to be
yeah.
honest with you. You're bang on with
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I buy 2, £140. Lovely. And then Wayne said they were found on a tip. I don't know, there's something magical about that, isn't there? Love them.
Brilliant.
Yes. Fantastic.
Hooray.
Yeah, thank you. Right,
You're
let's keep
welcome.
going. Susie and Wayne have got some storage on a farm nearby, and we thought we'd come over and have a look.
It's just up this way.
Farms are perfect for storage, and stuff gets left here for a long time. So, yeah, we definitely want to see that. We love these. What have we got in here, then?
If you just want to come through,
Oh, yes.
here we have the storage of some other pieces.
Chapel
that we have.
chairs.
I bought 700.
700. Wow. That is a lot. I've bought lots, but that's a lot. Oh, hello. What about this?
That was a barn find. Stunning artwork on it, the illustration.
Can I get it out?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to just move?
There's no tea like Phillips, and something strikes me, and I like, wow, and I'm having to contain my excitement, to be perfectly honest with you, because there's the nicest enamel sign I've ever seen. It's portrait, not landscape. It's very vibrant. There's lots and lots of movement in the piece. It's still crystal clear what it is. It's just got it all. It's got that something special.
One of the earliest forms of mass advertising, the process of making enamel signs like this one was patented in the mid-19th century. To create the image, powdered glass in different colours was meticulously poured onto a metal surface, then heated to a very high temperature, causing the glass to seep into the pores of the metal. This stunningly skillful example advertising the 19th century London-based tea company Phillips & Co. could be worth around £1,450.
How much is that?
I think I've got 1,800 on that.
How much is it, really? I mean, it's a nice one.
And that's just it.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. 1,400 would be my best on it.
Really? I'd like to pay £1,000 for it. So, but I know you can't. Can you do 1,200 quid?
Best we can do on it is 1350.
In Chesterfield, Drew's found a crammed to the rafters emporium with a whimsical mix of items that sparked his imagination.
Sold.
Sold, brilliant.
What the hell am I going to do with that? It's just different.
And tucked away in the back of a barn, an exceptional piece of 19th century advertising, has him trying to contain his excitement.
Can you do 1,200 quid?
Best we can do on it is 13.50.
It's hard, Wayne, isn't he?
Very.
Yeah,
He loves his antique advertising.
it does.
And they don't turn up.
13.50 sold.
So,
Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you.
What a thing.
beautiful, isn't it?
And we end up at 1,350, which is the most I've ever paid for an enamel sign. So it must be something special, because it really feels it. It's a stonker. You're so lucky to have all this space.
Yeah, it's been a work in progress.
It never ends, does it?
Yeah.
Either? I do like, there's a couple of pots here I like the look of. Now, I know they're only concrete, and I know they're only about 20, 30 years old, but I do like the look of them.
They've definitely got that aged look to them.
Yeah. So, can we just gather these together? So we've now come outside, and there's not a lot of things here, but then I spot two things, I think. Oh, I like those. And then another two, and then another two, and then another two. And I think, yeah, they look great as a group, don't they? Pair of them. So how much are they?
Well, I can do the lot for $3.50.
Sold. Lovely.
Great. Excellent.
Right, let's get the van. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Marvellous. My day with Lucky Magpie and with Wayne and Susie has been wonderful, actually. I've really enjoyed myself. We bought fun, interesting things that will just make a garden look great, corner of a room look great. And then buying one of the nicest things I've bought in ages, it's always a pleasure. The Lucky Magpie, for me, has been very lucky today.
Drury & Tea visit has been absolutely fantastic. We've had so much fun. There's been some really good deals that have been made.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm just so glad that he picked an enamel sign. So for him to pick that piece out makes it all worthwhile, all the early mornings and all the hundreds and hundreds of miles to get these finds for his customers.
Sorted?
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice signs in.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And
Thank
good luck with
you.
what you're doing.
Yep,
Yeah.
brilliant,
Thank
thanks.
you.
If you find
See you
anything
again.
like that again, give us a shout.
Enjoy.
Will do.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
See you later.
Bye.
What do you think of my £1,350 piece of enamel?
It's a very nice 1,300.
Is it £1,350 worth of nice, though?
Well, as you said before, find another one.
Yeah.
Back in Wales, the extraordinary plaster by 19th century master Domenico Brusciani has gone straight from Suffolk to the Llandudno studio of sculptor and restorer Nick Elphick.
Oh, it's a teaching aid for artists. They'll draw from it, you know, and it's fantastic, actually. It's beautiful. So he hasn't told me exactly what's wrong with it, but I can pretty much see there's a crack that goes all the way through it. Yeah, it has a pin in it. So there's nothing, I don't want to take this off because it's already pinned.
Having inserted a metal pin to hold two broken pieces in position, the previous restorer has tried to fill the crack and hide the repair. But because the wrong filler was used, the crack has reopened.
There we go, look. There's a chunk of resin that's just come out of that. So they've used a plastic material to fix an old plaster piece. And the problem is with that is the reason why it doesn't work in the long run, when this goes into someone's house, you have houses that get hot and cold, and all materials, you know, change temperature and they shrink and expand. And if you've got a hard, dense material like plastic, it's going to basically start to, it won't contract the same as the plaster, so it'll all start to eventually fall apart. I think that's probably enough. I just wanted just enough so I can get in there.
To make sure his repair is more successful, Nick mixes a dense plaster which will set hard.
I'm being quite messy about this because it's more important that it gets right into the nooks and crannies, right in there. Nice and packed.
When the new plaster has almost set,
It's starting to go off nicely. The way to tell if it's gone off is just go over with your nail. It feels hard and doesn't come off too much under your nail. It means it's gone off.
it's sanded to mimic the smoothness of the original surface.
Just go over with a nice sponge and clean it off. Nice and easy.
But the real challenge of this restoration is still to come.
Okay. It's quite a simple job, but the thing that's difficult is hiding the crack afterwards with patination. You just need to blend these colours and make it look a little bit more natural. And this is obviously, was obviously just a sort of patination green. This is just years and years of people's fingers touching and all the grease from the fingers. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and break up this line, probably just making some of this green, going through this line a few times here and there, break it up, and then also putting some of this pink in there. I'm going to put a bit of this in there to dull it down a little bit, and then put a little bit of white in there. Getting there. So you can see now this is starting to break up nicely. So I'm going to go over with a very hard cap wax. So you just have a look here. So you can see this is sort of all white and dry. I'm literally going to go very quickly straight over, and look, it all starts to blend. Just gives it a nice depth. Nice finish. I want to put it on very, very finely. And then you just let that dry. I'm going to go over the whole thing with it. So once this has a nice sheen over it, no one's going to know it's had a restoration, because it'll just, the surface will look. See, it's just blending that green. It's giving it a nice depth. And now I'm just going to get a dry sponge very quickly. I don't want to rub too hard, but literally just polish. Just give it a sheen. And that's it. I think Drew will be happy with that going on the wall.